picture was your history, because it's so interesting. Because you were born when?
1920.
1920, making you 90.
5 Jubilee Terrace,
Yeah,
Prince Rock, Plymouth.
really, that's where you were born. Yeah, so that's maybe your first memories of Plymouth.
Oh yes, I remember Jubilee Terrace very well.
And do you remember your mum's name? Elizabeth
Harrison, yeah.
Elizabeth Clara Harrison, that's right. She was
Clara.
born in 1882
Right.
in Limehouse.
In Limehouse, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, her mother had a shop
Yeah, in Limehouse.
in Limehouse, yeah.
Yeah.
And my father lived in Bow.
So he was born in the sound of Bow Bells then?
Oh, he was born in Bow Bells, yeah. They were both Cockneys. Both.
Oh, were they?
They were both Cockneys, my parents, because they both lived in the sound of Bow Bells.
And your dad was Charles Francis George,
Charles Francis George, yes.
because you're Sydney Robert George.
I'm Sydney Robert George, yeah.
Yeah.
My father was a barge builder on the Thames, and of course he got called up for the Navy, and he was sent to Devonport, to Devonport Dockyard. And so my dad and mother moved to Plymouth.
So you had a house full then, because you had your oldest brother,
Yes.
Charlie.
Yes. Charlie. It was Charlie, Bert, myself, and Eleanor.
Eleanor was your youngest sister.
She was the youngest, yeah. Well, I was born in 1920. Bert was born 1915. Charlie was born in 1913.
Right. So, 10 years after you were born, your mum died.
Yes. Yes. I was 10. That's right. I remember that. And my dad took my sister Eleanor to London, and she stayed with his sister, Clara, who was married to a baker. Sid Baker was her husband, and Sid Baker was paralysed. He was in a wheelchair. And then Dad took Eleanor up there to stay with them, and then when he came back, he put me on a bus and sent me up to stay with my Uncle George.
All the way to London at 10?
He was, yes.
On your own, on a bus?
On a bus, yes.
You cycled during the war to your sister's wedding, didn't you? Because you were in the Home Guard and you weren't allowed any petrol for a car.
Yeah, yes. Oh, I cycled quite a bit, and I was in Bath in the Home Guard. And of course there was no travelling in England.
Where were you working, in Bath?
I was in Bath in the Admiralty.
That's why it was a protected profession.
Yeah.
What were you doing in the Admiralty?
I was an engineer. I lived in Bath, and I went to Bristol, and I got a job as an engineer with Bristol Airplane Company. And I had to go before an Admiralty tribunal to leave the Admiralty to go into the aircraft
industry.
And that's how I did it. They because I was going into the aircraft industry, they said, okay, they needed building up. The shipping side was very strong, and they were very weak on the air side. So that's how I got a job with Bristol Airplane Company.
So did you work on the Spruce Goose?
No, I worked on the Brabazon, which was at that time being the largest civil aircraft being built.
So you met Mum in Calcutta?
That's where I met your mother, yeah, in Calcutta.
Do you remember seeing her for the first time?
Oh yeah, I met her at a dance in those days they used to, for the British people who worked in Calcutta, they had a club, and where they used to have dances and concerts and things like that. And that's where I met your mother, at a dance at this club one night.
Because she used to sing with a band, didn't
She
she?
used to sing with the band, yeah.
Ted Frankopoulos and the Blue Harmony Boys.
That's
you know?
it, yeah, that's right.
So when you saw her, was she singing?
Oh, yeah. And I asked her to dance, you see.
And what did she say?
Yes, she said she would have a dance, and I got that dancing, and then I used to go every week, and she used to sing, and I used to always ask her to dance, and then I took her out to dinner, and that was it.
That was it. That's how you met Mum.
There we go.
But then you brought Mum back to England, and you got married.
Yes.
And you lived in North London.
We got married in Finsbury Park Registry Office.
Was it? Yeah, Finsbury Park.
Yeah.
Wow. And you lived just off Hedge Lane, off in Enfield, actually.
Yes.
For a while.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, I got a flat. I'm trying to think of.
But you didn't stay there long, did you? Because you went back to Plymouth and you introduced Mum to the family.
Yeah.
And I was born, but I was born in London, wasn't I?
You were born in London, yeah. You were born in,
do you
in
remember?
Crouch End.
In Crouch End, at the Alexandra
Nursing Home.
Park, Palace Nursing Home, that's right. And you had a lot of very happy years in Libya.
Oh, yes, we did, yeah.
Had a beautiful villa,
Lovely.
the Villa Mignon,
Mignon, yeah.
with its own beach.
Only there we had our own beach, yeah.
Tell me a bit about your neighbours, because two of them still write to you, don't they? George de Costa, who was like my godfather.
Right.
He lived next door.
He was our neighbour.
With his wife. Do you remember her name?
Yes.
Frankie. And then you were transferred to the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Gulf, to Bahrain,
Back to Bahrain, yeah.
And this time they let Mum go with you, didn't they? Because
Yes.
by then times had changed.
Yeah.
So you finished your working life in Bahrain.
In Bahrain, yeah.
And of course I'd married Brian by then and gone to work for the Bahrain National Oil Company.
That's
so
right, he worked for Alba.
He worked for Alba, the aluminium smelter.
That's it.
I worked for the Bahrain National Oil Company.
You worked for the National Oil Company.
And you worked for Bapco, the petroleum company.
And I was with Bapco, yeah.
And that's where, of course, I had Tanya and Rissy.
Yes, that's it. Both in Bahrain.
Born at the Bapco Awali Hospital in the desert.
Yeah, in the Wali Hospital.
And then you and Mum decided to retire somewhere warm.
Yes, that's right.
So you bought a flat.
Where did we go then?
You went to Fuengirola.
Fuengirola in Spain.
Yeah. You had a flat in Los Boliches.
Los Boliches.
You remember that?
Yes,
You had a few.
I do. I remember that, overlooking the farm.
That's right. Yeah. So you had some good years in Spain, didn't you?
Oh, we did, yeah.
And lots of people visited you.
We enjoyed Spain.
Yeah, and then when Mum got poorly, she came to me.
Yes.
And stayed with me
with you,
until she died.
I went off somewhere.
Well, you went to Auntie Gladys's funeral.
That was it.
Yeah, but you cared for Mum for many years while you were in Brigadier Avenue.
Yeah.
You looked after her.
Yeah.
And so when Mum died, you were packing your bag to go back to your house. Yeah. And I said, no point really, is there? You may as well stay with me.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
And you used to help me look after the girls, do all the school runs. Do you remember that? Living opposite Les and Anne, Brian's brother. Yeah. And their girls, Melissa and Lauren. So we've had some good years, didn't we?
We've had some very good years, yeah.
And then a very important person came back into your life. That was your cousin Charles.
Oh, Charlie,
Bertram.
yes. After a long while.
Yeah, you hadn't seen Charlie for many years, had you?
Hadn't seen him for, probably it must have been about, say he would have been 18 or 19, and then 30 odd years.
Well, he was 19 or 20 when you last saw him.
Yeah.
And you first saw him again when he was 85.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah. A long time. A long time. But you got on very well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
And he used to come on holiday.
He loved to come with us.
To France. Yeah. And
he died whilst he was in France.
He did, didn't he? For your 90th birthday.
Gosh.
But we had some good times with him, and he was with us, wasn't he? Yeah. And you love going out to France.
Yeah.
And of course, those special people, those granddaughters of yours, Tanya, Rissy and Sophie,
Right.
they come and see you a lot, don't they?
They do, yeah. The girls are very good.
Yeah. And now an extra person, Sebastian.
Sebastian, yes, the little fella.
Mm.
Yes.
You've been spending some time with him in the last couple of weeks.
He's growing away.
He loves it when you talk to him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Talks back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had some good times.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
happy
good
memories.
time. We've had a very good life, really.
Yeah.
Very good life.
And certainly one of the things that everybody loves is when you sing along with us, because you like to sing. And I wondered if you'd sing Moon River with me.
Moon River, okay.
Yeah?
Moon River,
wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Old dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me.